All right, welcome, Video Guys News Day Tuesday. Tuesdays, 2 p.m., live on Facebook, soon to be back live on YouTube and other channels. It's the Video Guys Show. I'm Gary Batan. I'm your host today. We have a special guest today, all the way from down under. Eamon Drew, co-founder of BirdDog. He's coming to us from Australia, where right now it is 4 a.m. So really, thanks a lot, buddy. I know this is a big deal, especially since you've just been at IBC and all over the globe traveling, but we're really happy to have you here.
Yeah, look, thanks for the opportunity to be here. I'm really glad to be here, sir.
All right, one of the things we want to start talking about is the legacy of BirdDog, where you've guys been. You know, you guys came to us at a show a couple of years ago. We met you for the first time, and you had this crazy idea that you were going to deliver the first NDI converter so that a camera could plug into a converter and turn into NDI. Well, that was the original BirdDog Studio. Great product. We're selling it. Took a while to get the first ones here, but it's a good product. It works great. Now you've actually leapfrogged the industry, because not only did you make a converter, you guys are making a chip, and you're making the first chip that's native NDI. Can you describe what that means and why it puts you guys a whole leap, years ahead of the rest?
Sure, yeah. So sort of the history of the company is we announced back at NAB, I think in 2016, that we're going to build a product. And we're probably a little bit ambitious in going out so early. We've learned along the way that programming a dedicated silicon chip to do a single task like encode NDI is actually a lot harder than it seems on the surface. So that took a long time, but off the back of being able to put NDI into a silicon chip, and I kind of referred to this to people in the same way that AJA were the first company to put ProRes inside a silicon chip. We were the first company to actually do that with the
Very cool. Very cool.
Off the back of that, we made our first product, which was Studio NDI, which is our flagship product. But now that the chip's working, we can put that chip into various other products, and that's what we announced at IBC, is some new products with our chip inside.
Okay, but before we get to the IBC products, let's talk about the products we have that are shipping, that are being deployed. We have the Studio NDI, which we are using right now in the studio. I'm going to pick up this camera for a second so you can see that we actually have the Studio NDI from this camera going to that camera up there. I'm trying not to get you with glaring. That's my production team, folks. They really exist, Eddie and Christine. We're going to put this back down now. We'll cut back to one of these, this camera. Okay, which camera are we cutting to? Okay, you can see this just went dead, turned from red to green because this one's not live now. The one in front of me is live. I can't show you that the tally's live in red because as soon as I do that, it's not the tally light anymore. So we're going to have to figure out a way to demonstrate tally that doesn't involve using tally live at the time. So I want to talk about...
Interesting to demonstrate live.
Yeah, I want to talk about the Studio and the Studio Mini, which now are being deployed. And I want you to talk about some of the places where it's being used and how much it's being used. I'm aware now that you guys were working with some accounts in the US, and you've got some in Asia who are using 20, 50, 100 BirdDog NDIs is the plan. So talk about those success stories a little bit.
Yeah, sure. So we've had some success with multi-unit sales across various industries, actually, and not just to do decoding or encoding, but sort of a mixture of both. So, for example, the Brno Theatre in Czech Republic, spelled BRNO, they purchased 30 units. Sorry, I think it was closer to 50 units to do a combination of SDI encode and HDMI encode, as well as SDI and HDMI decode. And they were running on the same network, and that's all been a great installation. We just completed an installation with the City of Dreams Casino in Macau, who were using 30 of our Mini to do NDI encoding. And we've had some success in some various esports kind of applications as well, not just for encoding or the stream from the computers, but also just in the stadium itself to drive content to the screens around the venue.
Yeah, and I think it's very important to note that you guys have unlocked decoding as well. So other people in the industry have figured out how to make a PTZ camera or an adapter, a little box that'll turn an HDMI or an SDI signal into NDI. You guys have reversed that. You now have made, the Mini and the Studio can now decode NDI so it can power a television or a screen via NDI, which to me is going to revolutionize digital signage down the road.
Yeah, and that was one of the big announcements we had at IBC. We were showing that at IBC we had a video wall with 4 TVs, all with our Mini products driving content to those screens from our Central app, which is another announcement we made. Yeah, and that opened up things. I know we've got users across Europe at the moment. It's their summer over there, and they've been using some beta releases of our decode firmware to drive content around screens at some very large music festivals. So, festivals of 50,000, 100,000 people, this sort of, kind of level. And they've been using, our product to drive content to their screens. Because of the really low latency nature of NDI, it's perfect for iMag applications because,
And now let's start to talk about what's coming, because what you guys have said is we don't want to just be an NDI encoder decoder. You want to be a core critical, mission critical component to NDI workflows at all levels. So you go and you've been working in secret for the past few months on some secret new products, and one of the products is software, not even hardware, that you guys are doing. So I want to get into some of those workflows, but before we go into the workflows, you guys just released a new firmware, isn't that correct?
Yeah, so the new firmware actually will be out, I think, next week for the Mini, and potentially the week after for Studio NDI. Whilst it is just a firmware update, and you can call it a point to it, actually we had to rewrite the firmware from the ground up to comply with new network stacks and some other highly technical things within the NDI spec. So it's not just a patch update as such. It's actually, we've rewritten the firmware from the ground up. So what's in the Gen 2 firmware is we do decode now. We do the hardware proxy for TriCaster users. We take advantage of multicast.
And we're coming out and we're live with comms. So comms was something you showed in NAB that's coming now. So why don't you talk to us about comms a little bit?
I have to apologize.
Why?
Yeah, so I kind of just first I need to apologize with comms. We haven't been able to catch a break on this. We had our lead engineer take some compassionate leave, and then rather than returning to work after 6 or 7 weeks off, they actually left the company. So we had to replace them, and it's put us behind sort of 2 or 3 months. We're really close to having comms out. It should be out within this month for beta.
Okay, talk about what comms really is, because everyone heard about it a lot at NAB. It's kind of out of sight, out of mind. So why don't you refresh everyone about what comms does, and the other thing I want to know is, well, go into comms a little bit, and then I'll ask you a follow-up question.
Yeah, okay, sure. So comms is the world's first NDI comms application, and by harnessing the power of NDI, we're actually, we're actually first audio intercom solution that gives you visual feedback. So, by harnessing the power of the NDI video streams that are already on the network, we can show those in the application. So it's a software application that runs on any Windows 10 device, whether that's a Surface tablet for a touchscreen experience, or a laptop or a desktop running Windows 10. And it's an audio intercom solution. So on all of our hardware, the Mini or the Studio, we have a headphone jack. So you can just plug in a 4-wire TRS headset, and then you can have a full audio intercom solution with our hardware. And that will give you up to 8 party lines, push to talk, and all the other features you'd expect from a normal comms application.
Okay, now comms is $4.95, and correct me if I'm wrong, it was free if you registered for prior to September 30th. Is there any plans to extend that offer, or what's it going to be going forward in the short term?
Yeah, look, to be completely honest, we haven't done anything formally, but we're pretty lenient on that. So anyone who really purchases before we release it, we will be pretty lenient, and just send us an email to hello@BirdDog, and we'll hook you up with the comms. So.
Cool. So guys, basically what it means is the promo is over, but wink, wink, because you watch the show, you got a chance to still get in on it. Buy a BirdDog Studio or BirdDog Mini. Shoot an email to us, shoot an email to the BirdDog guys, and we'll make sure you get hooked up with comms. Very generous of you. Thank you very much. Now,
let's call this a formal introduction to an informal extension.
Cool. Now we want to talk about the product that blew me away when I got to be honest, guys, I got on a Skype call with these guys 2 or 3 days before IBC and they showed me this product. This is a PTZ controller that is completely NDI. It'll work with all the different formats, but what I really want to do is this thing's gorgeous. I haven't gotten a chance to touch it, but I got a lot of feedback from customers at the show at IBC already got to touch it. And just sometimes things feel great in your hand as a producer. You like the feel, you like the toggle. Kind of like, Eddie, you always comment how you love the TriCaster control surface. It feels really solid. You know, that's what we've got with the PTZ. I understand you've got one in your hands over there, Eamon. Isn't that true?
I do.
Look at that.
This is the world's first one that we've got on the market. So what we've done is we've taken, you know, a traditional PTZ controller which supports VSCO over IP, RS-232, RS-422, all the usual formats, but we're putting our NDI chip into this guy. So we'll support NDI and also NDI HX. So that means pretty much any camera on the market, whether it's the new tech, NDI HX PTZ camera or PTZ optics, they will all support on this. And you can mix and match. So if you've got Sony using Disco Protocol or NDI HX cameras, you can mix and match using this guy.
What's that little toggle bar down there?
Yeah, so this is your zoom, similar to your zoom on a camera. So it's towards.
Oh, that's really great. Just T and W, right? Telephoto and wide.
Correct, T and W, yeah.
Just like your camera.
I always wonder what that's for.
Super cool. And then there was something else about the unit with a magnet. Can you show us that little trick of the tail?
Yeah. So just before I go to that, you mentioned about the tactile experience on this. This has all got those soft silicon feel kind of buttons. You have all your adjustment knobs for iris and exposure and all that sort of thing. There's an LED display up the top here. And you've got all your ports on the back. And it's worth noting as well that we'll be implementing comms support on this. So you can use this as a comms endpoint.
Wow.
So you plug a headset in and you'll be able to use, your PTZ operator can be on the same comms network, which is pretty cool. So first PTZ controller to support NDI and NDI HX, as well as the first PTZ controller to support comms, to my knowledge.
And that's going to be...
Also,
go. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's also got a really nice it's hard to sort of show it, but it's got a really nice magnet riser on the back, which is kind of cool. So you can sort of set it up to be however you like.
Awesome. Eddie's saying I like that because he always likes the angle on the hardware when you touch it. Now, one of the things that I want to talk about is its target price is $1,495. When do you think we'll be able to sell our first one to our customers? Because I have a feeling the phones and the internet are going crazy right now with people trying to pre-order. Cool.
So we are taking pre-orders now. We expect this one to be out, Q1 2019.
Cool.
Definitely shipping before NAB. It potentially could even come out sooner than that, but we're going to say Q1 2019, so sometime between January and March next year.
Awesome. And we just want to say that if you pre-order one, we don't process your credit card until we have one to ship you, but get in the queue because we think it's going to be hot. And to be honest with you, we know stuff rolls off the assembly line at first in phases, and then the thing really gets cranked up. So if you want to be one of the first people on the block, I'm not saying you have to order it tomorrow, but you're probably going to get your order in before the end of the year. Now, if you're having a PTZ controller, obviously you guys were thinking bigger than that. And tell me what you were thinking about PTZ cameras, the Eyes family of native NDI PTZ cameras from BirdDog. These were introduced at IBC, huge hit. We're going to walk through the product line quickly. Let's start with the P100.
Yeah, sure. So the P100, which I'm holding right here, so it's a very small guy.
Can you put it up again?
Yeah, sure. Here we go.
Cool.
Little P100. So it's going to come in 2 colors, black and white. Kind of has a nice little smile or a nice little robotic face about it. I kind of think it's got a bit of character, but
excellent.
Yeah, it's really small, really lightweight. And as you mentioned, these are the world's first full fat NDI cameras on the market. So we don't do the HX format, we do the full NDI format, which goes up to about 140 megabits at 1080p 60, and it's a true iframe codec.
10x optical zoom, but it's also, your glass is a little different.
Has a 10x.
Right.
Sorry?
Your glass is a little bit different. A lot of PTZ cameras out there are using like security type optics. You're using actually pro video optics.
Yeah, and it's not so much just the glass, it's actually the chips inside. So this one uses a broadcast camera sensor, which is using cameras to do true broadcast applications. A lot of the other cameras on the market use, security camera sensors and have sort of adapted security camera PTZs into our world of broadcast. We've gone about it from the other way.
And this is
So this guy's still got SDI on the back like you'd expect, and a 10x optical zoom, and yeah, it's $14.95.
cool. And then the next step product is the P200. You call this one full NDI, no compromises. What separates it from the little brother?
Yeah, okay. So we've named our products with a P or an A, and I've probably given a little bit away here, but the P stands for production, the A stands for all weather. The P200 camera is based on a true Sony CMOS backlit sensor and full Sony image module. So that's from the glass all the way through to the sensor is Sony technology. It's got a 30x optical zoom. It's super low latency. It's one frame from the glass to the output, whether that's on NDI or SDI. It's got triple output, so you can do NDI, SDI, and HDMI all at the same time. And yeah, I forgot to mention, all of our hardware is compatible with our comms application. So you can plug a headset into any of our cameras or PTZ controller, and it can become a source on the comms network.
So your native NDI 30X rugged construction, and I'm looking, you're about $500 to $1,000 less than any other similarly spec'd PTZ camera. Plus, you have native full NDI.
Yeah. So we, the hard work was done, as we mentioned earlier in the show, with creating our custom chip, and then after that, rolling the chip into other products is actually not as hard. So, there's a bit of development work to do on this. We have to create a new board, obviously. Yeah, we expect to be shipping these sometime in Q1.
Okay, so the P's are for production, now the A's. The A's are for all weather. We're going to get to this, guys. There are PTZ cameras that we use, and we'll use them.
One of these.
Yeah, this is something that you can leave outside in a stadium or an event, an event thing, an outdoor theater, whatever, and it's going to hold up to the weather, hold up to whatever out there. So I don't think we have a picture of one. We have a picture. You don't have one that you can hold up yet, do you?
We were showing it at IBC, and we had it on the stand, but it's a bit of a beast. It's got like a cast iron kind of shell, and it weighs about 8 kilos, I think, this guy. So I didn't bring one of these in from the office. Again, this is full NDI. It's got the Sony CMOS backlit sensor and Sony image module, the same as the P200. So it's a 30x optical zoom. But the thing about this is the all-weather factor. So this will go from minus 40 degrees Celsius through to plus 60 degrees Celsius. So I'm not sure what that is in Fahrenheit, but essentially you can use this anywhere from Antarctica through to the Sahara Desert.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's got a salt corrosion proof housing, and it's even got a windscreen wiper to wipe sand or snow or rain off the glass.
Now let's talk about the A300, which I'm just going to call it military grade, because this thing is built like a tank.
It is. I was bashing it at IBC to prove to people how much it could withstand. I genuinely think if you hit it with a baseball bat, the baseball bat would come off second best. So this is, again, full NDI, Sony CMOS backlit sensor, full Sony image module, 30x optical zoom.
Now, I want to interrupt you for a second. In the image, it looks like it has 2 lenses, but am I correct that one of those is actually a laser for better focusing?
Yeah, it is. So whilst I'm a co-founder at BirdDog, my other sort of day job within the company is to do marketing. And we said on this one, keep your NDI dry as the tagline, but I pushed very hard internally to say with frickin' lasers. So
I like that. I want that tagline. Make a note. Next time we show this slide, with frickin' lasers.
Yeah, so one of the things you see there is a lens. The other one is actually a laser, and the laser is for helping illuminate at night and help keep focus in darker environments.
Illuminating at night. Explain that a little bit. Does this have night vision?
Well, yeah, it's not so much night vision as when you shoot out the laser, it'll help grab focus in
Gotcha.
conditions that you wouldn't otherwise be able to grab focus. So.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So it can focus sharper in low light situations with the laser.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think he goes 500 meters or something like that. So it's further than the zoom itself.
And is this 30x also, or is it a farther zoom?
Yeah, everything from the P200 up to the A300 uses the same Sony CMOS
30x.
package sensor and image module.
Cool.
So they're all 30x optical zoom. They're also all comms compatible, as I mentioned. And the A300 actually has a nitrogen-filled housing so that it won't fog up.
Very cool. So just note to both marketing departments at both companies, we should really get that 30x in all these slides and in all these bullet points.
I'll talk to the marketing guy.
You know anyone in marketing over at BirdDog?
Yeah, I know a few guys, yeah.
All right. So now let's go to
slide.
the next thing we want to talk about. We're running long, but it's okay because it's great stuff, is Central. What is BirdDog Central? You're calling it the world's best NDI delivery system. Tell us what that means.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I think I might need to change that tagline because clearly TriCaster is a bit more sophisticated. But so Central is basically just our way of driving content to screens. With our NDI decode function, this becomes really important. So you can sort of see on the app there, it's a Windows 10 application. So we're just using it on a surface in the picture here. But on the left-hand side, you can see the NDI sources on the network. And they just appear automatically because, it auto-detects the NDI source. And then on the right-hand side, where you've got the little thumbnails on the right there, they're your destinations. And so those destinations can be a group of receivers. So, for example, you can use our little mini HDMI guy,
Yep.
Put that behind television screens, and you can create a group of, say, 30 of these, and then drive content out to those 30 screens with 2 pushes of a mouse.
So I think a better tagline might be like the world's easiest NDI routing system, because that's really what you're doing is routing.
Yeah, it's sort of like a traffic cop for your NDI sources. You go over there, you go over there, that sort of thing.
And this is basic routing, so it's not like a full mixer where you can bring up lower thirds like the Sling Studio. This is just basically for NDI routing. I could take anything that's NDI in to anything that's an NDI output device and send whatever I want to whatever very easily through an iOS or Android device. Is that correct?
It's a Windows 10 application.
Okay, so Windows 10 only. Okay, but okay, so this is running on like a Surface, I guess, right?
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Cool. But very cool. Thank you for that. And when do we think this will be available, this software?
Yeah, so the software should be out, within this year. I think we're targeting the end of October for a beta. So potentially don't hold me on that, but yeah, it'll definitely be out in full release by the end of this year.
Awesome. So you answered the question about Sling Studio. Paul Richards, who's a good friend of ours, you know him from Stream Geeks, he had a question. Can you turn the laser off and on?
That's a good question. I'm not actually sure, but yes, I would assume so.
Cool. Well, great show, Eamon. Thank you very much. As we said, it's 4 a.m. down under right now, so we really appreciate you coming on. So thank you very much. Let's take them full screen and let them say goodbye to our audience.
Sure. Well, yeah, thanks, Videoguys, for having me on. I know it's sort of 4 a.m. over here, but I'm happy to jump on a call anytime. So, yeah, thanks for having us. Yeah, really appreciate it. So any questions about any of our products, just hit up Videoguys. Yeah, or hit us at hello@birddog.tv, and we're more than happy to answer your questions.
Awesome. Thank you very much for coming in the show. Much appreciated. Like I said, it's 4 a.m. over there, 4:30 in the morning. You got to get to sleep real early because I need you in that factory at 7:30 building more of these because we need inventory, buddy. We're sold out. We got people screaming for them.
Yeah, so just on that, our current products, Mini and Studio, we have more going out to the USA this week.
Awesome. Great. Thank you so much. Now, I think we're going to keep you on, but I think we're going to mute you. Nothing personal, but we're going to talk about what the next few shows are. We have a good itinerary coming up with shows. We're real excited. October 9th, we have John Lamon from Teradek coming on. He's going to talk about the Videogo, the new bolts. There's some new bolts that were designed for high-end production shooting with like Red and Arri cameras. They've also got the cube line and stuff, so very exciting. Always like having John on. Fun guy. He's going to be coming from California. Then on the 16th, there's an NAB show in New York. Now, IBC is a big show, NAB in Vegas is a big show. This isn't as big a show, but it's gaining traction, it's exciting, and we're going to be on the show floor, and we hope to be doing some live streaming from the show floor, of course. We can't promise that's going to work. We'll test it, we'll give it our best shot, but that's the goal, because a show floor is a little more difficult than a controlled environment like we like working on, but we'll give it a try. And you know what I'm thinking too, guys? Maybe we should bring the live view solo, so if that falls down, we'll have the live view. And then on October 23rd, we're not sure what we're going to do. We say it's going to be an NAB. Okay, the 16th is a pre-show on NAB New York. The 23rd is the actual NAB. The show is the 17th and 18th, right? So that's the pre-show, and then the 23rd will be a wrap-up. I have a feeling that wrap-up may become about some specific vendors, because I know there's some stuff coming soon that I'm not allowed to talk about, but I hope we have in stock by then. You know, I love teasing you guys and making you miserable thinking something's coming. So let me flash through to the beginning slide where we had BirdDog today. This was BirdDog on Video Guys Newsday Tuesday. Gotta thank my man Eamon Drew, who came in all the way from Australia, where it was 4 a.m. Guys, BirdDog's revolutionizing NDI. NDI is a revolution. You can't revolutionize something that's revolutioning already, but what they're doing is they're executing. What they're executing with is fantastic products. They're using the BirdDog for cameras and studios that you can use every day. We are actually using the BirdDog studio in the studio today. We've got it hooked up to a camera over here that we showed you during the show, going to a BirdDog unit right here, and that's how we're going live on this stuff via NDI. I don't think I can face it right at the camera. That's a bad thing, but there's what it's on. That's on the other camera, the Sony camera. So we're going with it. It's a fun thing to do. It works. It's a proven technology. Studio NDI and minis, like Eamon said, we should have more in stock, hopefully end of this week, next week. We know they've been short supply. If you really need one fast, give us a call. Talk to Eddie or Christine. They'll put you at the front of the pile if it's an emergency. But we hope to have more units. We hope to have a good flow of units really starting in the middle of October through the end of the year. We think we'll be okay, but there has been a shortage. We apologize for that, but we should have units shortly. This is Gary from Videoguys.com, Video Guys Newsday Tuesday. You give us, well, in this case, 30 minutes. We're going to teach you about the products we sell. Today we had a remote guest coming in from Australia. The remote Skype works well, but didn't have the best lighting in the world. And I think the other side of the world created video that's a little bit not the same quality we've gotten accustomed to, but a great job by Eamon. And it's the content that really matters the most. Videoguys.com, you can call us, 800-323-2325. We have live people here who can tell you about the products we sell. Yeah, you can buy them anywhere. You might find them for $1 cheaper, but you're not going to find them at some place that has the expertise and the knowledge and that use the products every day. And as you can see, we're using these products as part of our own show. We hope you like the show. Invite friends to do it. Give us comments. Like us on Facebook Live. We'll be on YouTube shortly. YouTube is going to be... We got kicked off of YouTube. What can I tell you? It was a dumb thing, but we're going to be back on YouTube Live. You can always watch our videos on YouTube and on the Video Guys blog. This is Gary from Videoguys.com. Thanks to the BirdDog folks. It's a great show. We'll see you next week. Peace.
Video Guys is available Monday through Friday. Give us a call at 1-800-323-2325. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter to stay connected with all of our updates. And you can like us on Facebook. Keep an eye out for our live videos. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.